There is a dark fate that could happen to any of Necromunda's hives. Even, indeed, the mighty Hive Primus. Each great city is but a ganger's death rattle away from starvation, suffocation, and anarchy. The death of a hive, of course, is never an easy thing. Millions of hivers, guilders, gangers, and nobles together make up the teeming population of each great city, and none are willing to give up their lives so easily. As so it was with Hive Arcos, the war to save it, stretching over bloody years, and only ending when its sedition threatened to spill out into the world beyond its walls. Under the beneficence of Lord Helmar, 1,000 hives thrive upon the surface of Necromunda. From the grand spires of the Palatine Cluster and its majestic Hive Primus, to the narrow peaks of Gothrul's Needle, or the sump-washed coast surrounding Hive Umbros, billions of citizens toil ceaselessly with the glory of the lords of Necromunda and the God Emperor to whom it belongs. Each worker crafts their wares, knowing they are but a mote of light in the gleaming constellation of the Imperium. Their efforts the price for both the continued sufferance of the Imperial House and the protection it offers. Yet, even the most cared-for child can grow ungrateful. Lord Helmar's Palanite forces prowl the streets and domes of his vast kingdom, seeking out dissidents among the populace. Any sedition is swiftly dealt with, be it instigated by a lowly manufactorum worker, moneyed guilder, or upstart noble. Lord Helmar knows his enemies well. Records kept by the Imperial House stretch back across thousands of years, detailing usurpers, rebel kings, and even Xenos interlopers, all who were intent on claiming a piece of Necromunda for themselves. It is all the more tragic then, that when the doom of Hive Arcos came, Lord Helmar's agents did not see it for what it was, until it was far too late. Hive Arcos stands in the shadow of the spoil. It is a spike driven into the trans-hemisphere crossroads, where the Great Ash Road meets the northern mining highways, and the old ration-stop railhead, providing a gateway between the wastes above and the underearth below. Known variously as Lycon Spear, the Butcher's Tower, and the Red Hive, Arcos was also a nexus for the corpse grinders, guilds given over to the production of corpse starch and protein in its many forms. A steady supply of bodies from the open-cut mines of the spoil and the depths of the underearth ensured that the cults could produce goods well in excess of the needs of Arcos. When corpse starch supplies in nearby hives failed or grew scarce, the vaults of Arcos would open to them, granting a lifeline of continued existence. Perhaps more importantly, the standing of Arcos in the eyes of the Imperial House was elevated by the presence of its extensive fleshworks, where corpse grinder meat cultivator vats grew the most rare and exquisite cuts of flesh. These decadent morsels were conveyed over the rolling cloudways via stratoplane to spires and cloud-born sky palaces across the planet. The crossed cleaver stamp of the butcher's tower, synonymous with only the finest meats. It is perhaps unsurprising that Arcos was given some latitude for self-governance by Lord Helmar. Guilder councils oversaw the council of the mid-hive regions, and within these councils the corpse grinders held the greatest sway. When output fell, the corpse grinder cult leaders found ways to make up the shortfall from the local populace, entire settlements sometimes vanishing overnight so that the numbers were met and Lord Helmar's gaze remained averted. Likewise, local enforcer precinct captains and guilder bosses enjoyed the corpse grinder's coin, and frequently allowed them to do as they pleased below the wall that divided Spire from Hive proper. Despite the corruption in his heart, the Corpse Grinder Guild was not initially a nest of rebellion or chaos worship, but merely a vector for its arrival to Arcos. Ultimately, the madness would come from the meat itself and infect the lowest levels of the cult long before its leaders succumbed, drawing countless citizens into the depths of cannibalism and fury before it was done.